Hello and welcome. This is the Oily Crafter YouTube channel and I'm Judy. Well, thank you for joining us today. We're going to do another crafty project. This time we're doing part 2 of the Patriotic Porch Leaner. In yesterday's, or this last video that we did, we actually did the base part so that I could show you how these are interchangeable porch leaners you can do for different seasons. So I did the base in the last video. In this video we're going to do the red, white, and blue Patriotic rockets. Here we go. And this again is from the Brid Laser Designs on Etsy. I want to give credit where credit's due. So I'll link to it in my description. So if you want to go purchase it, you can, as well as the what they call the base kit. Because the actual big board that you see in the picture is a 1x10x4 that you have to purchase at one of your big box stores. So here we have, this design is what we're going for. And I'll bring up now where I have my Glowforge Pro is brought up. I've already got my design brought in. I just focused it so it's a little off the end here, so I'm going to take this down to 67%, highlight it, use my arrow keys to move it over. Okay, so that fits in pretty good. I was kind of worried that this was too big side to side to fit in, but apparently she made sure it would fit on the Glowforge bed, which I'm very happy for. Alright, so I have it all ready to go. I have it focused in. I have it where I want it to be. Now I'm going to go, since my laser is in the other room, I'm going to close it out here, go open it on the computer next to my laser and start it there. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, here I have put in my 1/4 inch MDF. Since I'm going to seal this, I'm not worried about using the MDF. Got it going there. I just wanted to show you in the Glowforge. Now I've got brought up over here on my computer that for a monitor I use a big screen TV on this computer. I'll show you the computer. It's this little box right over here. That's the computer I use to run the software for the computer. Alright, so I've got it loaded here. I've got my thick draft board picked. I have it at 67% because I want to be able to see the whole screen. Matter of fact, I will click that. I want to move it this way. So when it starts up, I don't know why, I just don't like it being covered by what comes up over on the right hand side. I have my score set to high quality. I have this to cut. I have it on the proof grade cut because that tends to work just fine for this particular material. So now I'm going to focus it in the center, and you'll hear it start moving here in a second. There it goes, and that's my husky gingerbread in the background. She's trying to figure out what is my mama doing. Alright, so now it says it's focused, and I'll see if I need to move my artwork any. Well, it still says it's focusing. There, it says it's ready. Okay, I see. I think I will go ahead and move it just a little bit. I don't have my keyboard right here next to me, so I'm just going to grab it and move it. Alright, so everything looks like it's within. It's not hitting any of my hold downs. We're inside there. We're barely inside at the bottom, but we're going to leave it there. So now I'm going to hit ready up here in the upper right hand corner. And as soon as it tells me how much it is, I'll hit the start. 11:49 minutes. Or 11 minutes 49 seconds. Alrighty, it's my magic time. So now I come over here. I'm going to turn on I have this fan, external fan right there. So I'll turn it on. As it starts spinning up, I will get, sorry for the glare, it's the window in the back and I don't want to close the curtain because it's a fire hazard. Yes, I do have a fire extinguisher right down there and a fire blanket right here. So I do have fire safety equipment. Alright, here we go. And when it gets done cutting, we'll come back and we'll pick paints and start painting. Now that we have all of our pieces cut and taken off the laser, we're ready to see about trying to make sure we have all our pieces together. This is one of the things that I do. I lay it all out and I compare it to the picture, as you see in the corner above my head. It shows you what it looks like all painted. So I've gone through, made sure I had all of my pieces, and I may have a few extra stars that looks like. That's okay, I'm alright with that. So the welcome comes down over here like this. And then I have the red, white, and blue. I have mine a little bit different than they have on the video or on the picture there. That's okay. Good thing is I know I have what I need to finish the project. Now if you remember, last time I was doing the base, and I will remove the this camera so you can see, we were doing this base that's underneath it. I have one that is done in white and one that is done as stained wood. So now we're going back and we're trying to do these pieces here that go on top of it. Alright, so some of the things that you're going to need, of course, is you're going to need all your pieces that you've cut. You make sure you have what you want or need. Now one of the things I did do here that I may or may not use is I kept the stars in this, and I may paint them white, and I may just leave them out like she did in the picture. In the picture she doesn't have them in there. She just paints the background and then glues this over this. Same with the stripes inside of this one here. She leaves those out in the picture, and these sections here she leaves out, and the stars in the boom she leaves out. So I may or may not. What I'll probably do is get it painted, put them in there, see what I think without gluing anything, do a dry fit, and then I'll worry about that. Now I put the tape on the back so I could make sure I didn't lose pieces. If I was going to mail this to somebody to paint on their own, that's one of the things I would do. I would send it with tape with the pieces, the small pieces on it, so it would be easy for them to make sure all their pieces are there. Now when I put this on the website to be sold, I will not be selling the big long board unless you are local to me and able to pick it up. That's the only way that I would have that part of the board and stuff. I would sell you the pieces that hold these on, but that's all I would do. I wouldn't try to mail that 4-foot board. So okay, so moving on, we're going to now decide, and she's got some colors there in the picture that I'm going to look at, and so we've got a red. Now also, since this is going to be outside, you might want to look at some outdoor paint, like a house paint, and get it in these samples. Now this is a really old sample I have. I don't think they sell them in these jars like this anymore, but this is a house paint sample. This is a current one. It's a white that you can get. These were from Lowe's. This is from Home Depot. Or you could just go with your acrylic paints. I have several Apple Barrel and Full Card and stuff like that. Though I red, white, and I have a dark blue. And I will have these in the description as to which one it is. I always, the one that I use for the union on the flag, I always mark that one flagged. It just makes it easier for me to find the particular blue. And it's ultramarine is what it's called. And that's for the union on the flag, which is any of the deep colored, like on the boom and the base of the United States, one of the rockets there, and then the actual union here. Okay, now she has a light blue in there, so I don't really know what color she used, so I'm going to try this Apple Barrel Blue Cotton. So, and I hope that this stuff, I reset my camera and stuff, so hopefully stuff is coming in okay. Now I haven't decided if I'm going to use the house paint red, which is classic red by Valspar, or if I'm going to use the apple barrel bright red. Now I probably have a different color red that might be a flag red, but I didn't find it when I was getting my paints together. And then I have the satin pure white, ultra pure white color sample from Behr. So those are colors that you can use. That's what I'm going to use today, and I'm not going to expect you to sit and watch me paint all these pieces. I will do some recording of me painting, and then I will stop it. I'm not going to cause I don't want the length of the video to be too long. Okay, on top of that, of course, you got to have, whether you like a brush, or one of the things I like to do, especially with these little pieces here and the little stars, I will use tape on the back of the stars to keep them somewhat where they're at here. So if I go to put them back in, I don't have to go, oh no, it doesn't fit this hole, it's got to fit that hole. I will do, sometimes I use something small, a little sponge. Sometimes on the long pieces, instead of the brush, I'll use a sponge like this. Now, here lately, one of my favorite things to use is a makeup sponge. The little triangle deals. So I get those. I keep popsicle sticks around to stir with if I need to, because if it doesn't shake up enough. Then I also keep paper plates. And then these are a bunch of those wedges, makeup wedges. And like this one here, yeah, I cut this one in half off of that one, and I didn't bring any scissors with me to cut some more, but I'll have to do that. Of course, then you'll need the glue, whatever glue you're going to use. Now, a lot of times I will use this stuff called 3M, or there's another brand called Dual Tight. Before I cut it, I'll put it on the board and then go ahead and cut the board. And then all you gotta do is peel and stick. But with this being outside, I'm not really sure what their temperature range is as far as heat goes. So I don't know about that. I'll have to double check that. But these here, I didn't put Dual Tight or 3M on the back. So you'll need some kind of glue. I'm going to use the Tite Bond 3 Ultimate. See if I can get a hold of it here. And if I have to, I'll grab some super glue also. Ooh, I keep grabbing that. Now, let's see. Other than having some blue tape around, so if you're wanting to keep all your pieces together. Oh yeah, and then as you're doing finishing touches, you might want some paint pens to do, I don't know if she has them on this picture or not. Yeah, there's a few lines along the side of the M where she's done like a dotted line. You could do that and use paint pens. Now, if you're a really good steady hand, you could probably use a small brush. I've never been much of an artist. I can paint somewhat. Now, also, for those neat freaks, we've got the baby wipes and disposable gloves. Also, if you want to protect your clothing, you might want to use some kind of a smock or apron or something like that that covers wherever it's going to be close to the paint. Especially since you see me reaching across, I'm not really sure I want to do that while I'm actually painting. So, I think that gets all of our preliminary stuff ready to go. So let's see what side, where do I want to start? Now, in order to do like the union here, I don't want to do it with all the stars in there because I got to come back and paint those white. So I'm going to see if, see if I can get them to stick to the tape, get the tape going. Yeah, that's not going to work out the way I thought. A lot of times when I do tape, it'll stick to it. So I can keep track of it. So that's one of the things that I do. All right, now also with the white, if you're not using a house paint white, you're using an acrylic white, you may have to do your white pieces, which is like this piece right here, and the word white, you may have to go over it 2 or 3 times. Even with a white on this MDF, it does tend to soak up a lot of the paint. Alrighty, so I'm going to get these sorted out into colors now. That's one of the things I like to do. Whatever's going to be white goes in one place, blue in another place, and then of course there's a second blue. So I'll stop the recording and do that. Okay, at this point I've repositioned a few things, realized that my computer was too far away. You weren't really seeing me as I moved over here to work on this stuff, and my microphone was in the way. I apologize that we had that issue, because at this point I have everything all separated out. I'm going to wait to do the painting on the backer last, because it have all three of the different colors, and at this point I'm still trying to figure out if I want to put my stars back in and that kind of thing. So I want to see what it looks like. I want the glue to make sure it hooks to the MDF without the paint in the way, if I can. So, I'm just ready to get started at this point. So the first thing I'm going to do is move a few things out of the way so we can get our first color. And I think I'm going to start with the white, because that way if I need to do a second layer, we'll come back and do it again, it has time to dry so we can see what it's going to look like with just one coat. Alright, so all these things here are going to be white. So I'm going to move this back out of the way. I'm going to grab this, and I haven't decided yet for sure if I prefer the sponge for this over the little, it's still a sponge, but it's the little dauber kind, which might actually work better for, keep getting my finger caught on the tape, for the stars. So as I said earlier, I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do the whole paintings process. We'll get started here and see what we got going. And this is the Valspar white, and it's really thick. Like I said, I got it a long time ago, so it's kind of old. Don't know for sure how well it's going to work. It's almost pasty. Huh. Well, let's have a look and see what happens. If I don't like it, I'll switch to the bare white. Alright, we'll start with the little dauber here. Get a little bit in there. So, and I'll brush off extra because I don't want it just flying everywhere. And I'm going to use something. I need to use something to hold these down while I go. And that's one nice thing about having the dauber. In this particular case, a little bit goes a long way. Like I said, this is outdoor paint. And you don't want to have a lot kind of dripping over the side on this, because if we're going to put it back down in the holes, like on the boom here, you don't want to, you may have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Sand some of the extra off if it drips. And that's not one of the things that I want to spend time doing on these little stars. So there you have it. I'll keep going, and we'll come back in a little bit. Okay, now that I have finished the white and the light blue, I'm going to move on to the darker blue right here. These are the ones that's going to be in the dark blue, I believe. So I'm planning on using the Folk Art, and this is the newer bottle, so I'll show you it. The Folk Art, that's ultramarine. Not sure how well that's going to come across on the video. Here we go. Whoop. Get it under some light here. It's an aquamarine, or not aquamarine, ultramarine by Folk Art. It's a matte finish. I mark these bottles flag because I'd like to use them for the union on the flags. So that's what I'm going to use for the deep blue on this part. Now I did mention earlier that I had found some Deco Art Crafters outdoor paint. I'm not planning on using it today, but this is what I was talking about. So this is what, it's an outdoor paint. I'm assuming will help protect from the UVs and stuff like that. I actually found these at the Dollar Tree, so we're going to have to see if we can find some more colors. I think I managed to pick up 9 different colors between the 2 Dollar Trees that I'm close to. So I may pick up some more colors so I can try them on these projects, so I can not have to worry quite so much about sealing it, because one of the things I will do with these is seal them when it's finished. I don't seal most of my project, but since this is going outside, I am going to get some kind of clear, probably spray paint or spray clear, a sealer of some sort, to put on these when it's all done. So also, one of the things that I wanted to point out, you need something very pointy. So something like this. I picked these up in a package of 2 at Dollar Tree, and they have a little cap, so when you're not using them and you put them in with your pencils, you don't poke yourself with them. I really like those. And they have this other end. I think they're supposed to be for like doing clay work or something like that. They have this pointy end, which comes in handy sometimes when you want to hold stuff down. So, and I'll tell you why I like to use that. Over here on the word white, and I'll probably find the same thing with the word red, you have these little areas, like down in here, where you might get paint. So, and you need to pull the paint out. Well, I actually got it down in these crevices here, and then that's where I was trying to get the extra paint out so I could make it look like, you know, there wasn't overflow. So that's what I use that for. So I'm going to go ahead and start painting these to blue. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me to do it. I'll come back and I'm going to do the red next, and we'll go ahead and come back when I'm ready to glue. I've got everything painted now, and I'm going to go ahead and do all my dry fit, as you see here. I got everything put in place. Now, one thing that I have not done is gone back through and done the highlights with the white pins yet. I will do that after I get it glued together. I don't know, that's just the way I do it. Now, the one thing I did decide on these 2 pieces here, I like so well where I put these white back in here, instead of leaving them off and just painting the backer like she has in the picture. I like these put in, they're the same level. So I decided I went back through my scraps that I kept in the little box to the side. I always have something like this to put my scraps in. And so I went through that, found them, and now I just got through painting them. I'm waiting for them to dry, and then I'll dry fit them. So then the next thing I need to do is, since this one here, I still need to paint this backer right here. I'm going to hold things in place where I like it, and I'm going to take a pencil and mark, because your glue is going to stick better wood to wood. Okay, so I got this all lined up here, and I'm going through here. Now I know where to paint my light blue at. Okay, so then the next thing I also did on my, she has it all dark blue in hers, and I decided I wanted mine to be red, white, and blue. So I tried to do a little bit of a ombre, I guess is what you would call that. And so on the heart, I'll have to make sure the part that's in the red definitely has the white highlight there, so you can see the edge of the heart. That's something else I changed, but I do like the white stars in the boom, as well as in the union here. I just think that works so much better. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is get this painted with some more of that blue, and then I will start gluing, and hopefully by the time I'm ready to do this one, those 2 pieces will be dry. Alright, See you in a few minutes. One of the things I like to do when I'm using my paint pens is I always have a scrap piece of wood laying there. Uh-oh, that was paint going everywhere. Is to check it. And so I don't have big globs like that come out in the middle of me doing some painting. So I got my heart here, and I said I was going to kind of go around this side since there's going to be red there. So this is what I do. There's nothing really fantastic about it or special. I just draw lines, a couple of dots, draw a line, couple of dots, draw a line, couple of dots, and I'll go ahead and go all the way around, even though it's not that way in the picture. Here, and there's my heart done, and it shows on these it's just coming down the one side, so I'll do that. And you can use like I got a Sharpie one here if you're wanting to use something with a bigger tip. I'm used to working with the like earrings when I do this kind of stuff, not so much big items. So I just grabbed my Posca with the small tip. Alright, so I will continue on doing this. When this finished drying, I'll start gluing. Now I am planning on using a tad bit of the Tight Bond 3 since it will be outside, but for a quick set I'm going to put a couple of deals of gel of the super glue on it. Okay, that's good. There you have it. They're all done. I got them all painted, glued together, and I have a few pointers for you. First off, I use 1/4 inch MDF for these. Very sturdy. I still have to paint the back and seal it, but one of the things I wanted to note, if you buy this to make it, this overlap here, make sure when you put your glue on you get it where it's going to be up there, and you get these in here all lined up so you don't have gaps, because when you do it the way I did it, they all fit just right and even down here. So one of the things I noticed, I didn't paint this because a lot of times when I paint this area here and I go to put it in a slot, it's too tight. So I was just going to put a sealer on there when I get done painting the back. It's probably going to be a spray on clear. I don't know if I use shellac or varnish or something else, but something that will help protect it outside. Now, one of the things is when I made my board, I used 1/4 inch wood, birch. But I'm finding out as I was trying to slide my pieces in, that 1/4 inch birch is not as thick as the 1/4 inch MDF. So I guess from here on out, when I go to make stuff like this, I have to make it out of the exact same wood for stuff like this, for the stuff inside where we're making slots for stuff to fall into, because now I can't, until I make another board, which what I might end up doing is just using the back side of this one, use MDF. That way when I have thinner stuff, I can still use this one here with the 8 inch, or the birch. If I use 1/8 inch for this instead of 1/4 inch, that just blew my mind. I didn't even think about that being just enough difference where I can't slide these down into the slot. Okay, when you're using the gel super glue, one of the things I always keep on hand, if you get it on your fingers, right? On your fingers. I have this little nail bottle, pump bottle that I got, nail polish bottle, from Dollar Tree many years ago. I keep rubbing alcohol in this. So if I get the glue on my fingers, I quickly go over and I get some of the rubbing alcohol on my finger where it's at, and it keeps it, kind of neutralizes it before you have a chance for it to get stuck to anything. Last thing I have is when you're doing this, and I don't know if you can tell it in the video or not, but I didn't get this quite lined up when I first put it down, so I have spots that got glue around. So the little makeup sponges also work really well on sopping up super glue. Now, it looks shiny to me. You probably can't see it in the video. But so when I put the sealer on there, you probably shouldn't be able to notice it. But those are good, and they don't leave any lint or anything like that. So that helps out a lot on not having any lint. I enjoyed making this project. I hope you will check out the Bridge Laser Designs on Etsy and see if there's any designs you like, if you have a laser to cut out yourself, or seek out someone like myself who has a laser who can cut out and sell you the blanks to where you can paint it and glue it together yourself. Because you may want totally different colors. You may want neutral colors. You may not want the red, white, and blue. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And here on the Oily Crafter, I'm Judy, and I am the crafting side of the Oily Crafter. You probably have seen some of the stuff on our YouTube channel also being technical stuff, and that's my husband. We just put it all together. We're a couple of retirees just trying to enjoy life. We hope you enjoyed our video and our content, and hope you'll like and subscribe. Maybe even share our videos with others. We appreciate all of our viewers, whether they're new or they're somebody who's been with us for a while. We've been doing this since 2020, kind of at our leisure. Thank you so much. I hope you will join us again, and we'll see you in the next video.